Who told Jimin it was okay to wear the sideways hat? That's what I need to know. I just want to... That's...
Hey guys, welcome back to Lex Listens. This first part is going to be a little bit of a voiceover because we had a lot of technical difficulties with the quality of the audio on the camera. It sounded like this.
Probably one of my most requested.
But today we are doing a very highly requested video. I am just doing this little intro, and unfortunately I also recorded a monologue moment again, and all of this audio is just trash. So I'm just going to go through the list while you watch me talk when the words clearly do not match up, and it is what it is. I'm not upset at all. Anyways, let me pull up my list. So the first thing I wanted to mention is my name. So I just wanted to let you guys know that my name... Oh, that's Livy in the background, if you heard her. I just wanted to let you guys know that my name is Alexa, and not Lex, which is like my channel name, Lex Listens. Lex is a nickname that my family calls me, and Alexa is my real name. And just FYI, because I noticed some people calling me Lexi, and it is what it is. It's okay if you call me that. It's just not my name, and I don't really go by it. So it is what it is. My name's Alexa. You can call me Alexa, Lex. You can call me Lexi if you want, but I prefer Alexa or Lex, just FYI. I also want to address biases. That is something else I wanted to talk about because I am very confused, honestly, very confused, because I thought my bias was probably Jin to begin with. And then at first, Jimin was my bias wrecker. But then all of a sudden, I think Jimin might also be my bias. And I'm just not taking it that deep anymore. It's not that deep. I'm not really sure what my bias versus bias wreckers are. Maybe I'm wrecked by all of them, to be honest. But at the end of the day, I'm OT7. I appreciate all of them. I love all of them. And honestly, they all have their moments where I'm like, damn. I obviously have a tendency towards Jimin and Jin, obviously. However, I really do appreciate all seven. I have my moments where I have a huge crush on Suga. I have a huge crush on Jungkook. I honestly really do love them all, and I don't think it's that deep. I don't think I need to think about it that hard. Another thing, speaking of Jimin, that I wanted to mention is the amount of comments I saw that said, once you gym in, you won't gym out. And believe me, I'm gymmed in for life. I'm never leaving. I could not possibly gym out in any lifetime. So it is what it is. I'm gymmed in. Just wanted to give you that update. Another thing I wanted to mention is that all of my BTS videos are premieres. There will always be premieres when they're BTS videos, and I really want you guys to hop in the comments if you can come to the premiere and hop in the little chat. And I love chatting with you guys. I really appreciate you guys teaching me things as we're watching the video together, and I really love it. So if you ever see that something's premiering, definitely hop on there, definitely check it out, and we can watch it together, we can chat. I love chatting with you guys, so definitely check it out. Honestly, I have a lot more on my list, and I will probably address it in a later video because this is really annoying having to do a voiceover. But I just want to say that sometimes I get really nervous to share my opinions, and I feel like sometimes, like when I don't love a song immediately, that it's kind of scary for me. But I just wanted to say that I really appreciate all of the nice comments, the comments that clue me in, the comments that are so helpful in teaching me so much, because I feel like, honestly, I know nothing. And I just really appreciate you guys. I really love when you guys leave comments that are like, oh, I wanted to dance right along with you, or I wanted to sing with you, or you're laughing at me, you're laughing with me. I mean, even I wrote dying with me in my notes, but really I'm just dying and you're laughing because you've been there. I just want to say thank you guys, because I really do, like, all the people who have subscribed, liked, commented. I really appreciate it, and I really love you guys. So thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And yeah, that's about it. I'll see you guys in a little bit, and the audio should be fixed in this next clip. Bye.
I'm going to test out, for these next couple of videos, I'm going to test out using my AirPods to see if the sound quality is better. This is a recommendation that somebody left on one of my videos. I can't remember which one, but hopefully this will make the sound quality better for you guys. And I don't know. I guess we'll see if this works for us or not. And if it doesn't, then I'll probably switch back, but hopefully. I also have some tea with me, by the way, so I'm going to be drinking that.
Today, everyone knows the name of BTS. They've been invited onto late-night talk shows, they've shattered records, they've sold out stadiums, they've made it onto the big screen. These days, you'd be hard-pressed to find someone who didn't know who these guys were, or at least haven't heard one of their songs. And if they don't, either they've been living under a rock, or they're 100 years old. The success of the Bangtan Boys is worldwide.
Bangtan Boys. I don't know why, but I get, I don't want to say stressed out, but I get nervous when I say things wrong. Just a pet peeve of mine. So I didn't want to say like Bangtan. I didn't want to say it wrong. So I've just been saying like the Bulletproof Boy Scouts or BTS, and that's about it. So Bangtan Boys. Got it.
But it wasn't always like this.
The very existence of BTS can be owed to its founding father, an innovator by the name of Hitman Bang. Hitman 4, Teddy, Danny, Jinhwan, and Baekhyun debuted in 1998 as One Time. Their first album, titled One Time for Your Mind, was one of the year's best-selling albums and won several awards, including the Global Disc and SBS Music Awards for Best New Artist and KMTV's Award for Best Hip-Hop Artist.
That's interesting, because I always kind of did wonder like if it was a common practice in like Korea or Asia in general, I guess, to create these groups, because I have noticed like for K-pop, a lot of popular like K-pop groups that you guys are recommending to me are groups. Like I haven't been recommended like a K-pop person. It's always a group. Like, and it's very specific to like a girl group or a guy group. And I didn't know if that was a really common practice in either in Korea, in Japan, in Asia. I'm not sure if it's a common practice, or I guess maybe something like this where he was thinking of an old like boy group and trying to kind of recreate it modernly. I'll keep watching.
Awards for Best New Artist and KMTV's Award for Best Hip Hop Artist. The group enjoyed moderate success and released 4 more albums before going on indefinite hiatus in 2006 due to their mandatory military service.
The year was
Mandatory military service. I have a coworker who was telling me that because I'm trying to spread BTS, you know, because I love them and I want other people to love them. I was talking to a coworker about BTS, and he told me that they have to do mandatory military stuff as well. If you guys know anything about that, I'm not current with BTS, clearly. But if you guys do know anything about that, can you explain kind of what that is or what that's about? Because I obviously am not familiar with Korean culture, and I don't know. I'm going to do my research after this, actually, but if you guys do want to leave a comment, feel free to leave a comment because I would definitely appreciate it.
2010, and the 5-year-old company, Big Hit Entertainment, had previously signed 2 artists, 88 and 2AM. They had their share of successes, but they were very traditional K-pop groups. Big Hit wanted a fresh, new sound, and upon listening to One Time, CEO Hitman Bang Si-hyuk had decided that that was the sound that he was looking for. And on top of that, the youth needed someone to relate to, and more importantly, look up to. He had decided he would
He's a handsome man.
Hip-hop group.
Kim
At 15 years old,
Namjoon.
Kim Namjoon auditioned for a certain Big Deal Records, which he completely botched,
He looks so
forgetting
young.
the lyrics to the song he was performing.
Aww.
Afterwards, fellow rapper Sleepy recommended that he try auditioning at another label, Big Hit, and even put in a good word for him to one of the producers there. At age 16, Namjoon auditioned in front of Bang Si-hyuk himself and instantly impressed him. He was offered a deal with Big Hit on the spot, which Namjoon accepted and became a trainee, officially choosing a name for himself, Rap Monster, destined to become...
That's another thing. You guys taught me some stuff. So I think my last music video reaction, I was shook to find out that RM stood for Rap Monster. And I thought that was like a current thing as well, but they just didn't call him that. So yes, from what I learned, it started as Rap Monster, aka RM, and then it kind of was like Rapman, that kind of thing. And then eventually it was just RM because he kind of dropped that persona that he originally started with. And then from RM, he was like, it also could be like Real Me. I don't really know what it is. I'm glad that RM doesn't currently stand for Rap Monster because I was like, no, this is too much. But I appreciate where he started from. Like, you know, you all, like, I made myself some cringy nicknames and stuff when I was in like high school thinking that I was cool. So come on now. I can relate. Like, I feel like everyone goes through phases, so it's okay, RM. We're just glad you don't call yourself Rap Monster.
The leader of the newly created group. Now that a fearless leader was chosen, they needed more members.
Suga!
Min Young-gi was a 17-year-old living in Daegu, an avid basketball player and rapper. He had been interested in music, especially rap, from a very early age. And despite his...
Suga is the cutest thing to me. His little face is just... I just want to... That's what I want to do to his face. All the time. I just... So cute.
parents' disapproval, started performing as a rapper while still in high school. He quickly gained attention as a rapper and producer in the underground hip-hop scene.
Wait, actually, you guys did tell me this because you said that in the video where he was crying, it was because his parents disapproved and they went to a concert or something, I think.
One day he saw a flyer for a rap competition called Hit It and decided to participate. And although he only placed second, the company hosting the competition, you guessed it, Big Hit, decided to sign him on as a producer. Hitman Bang spoke with him afterwards, convincing him to join a newly created hip-hop group. He told him to just focus on rapping and assured him that he wouldn't need to dance. He was lying. And just like that, the new group had a second member, known as Suga, a combination of the first two syllables of shooting guard, his favorite position in basketball. But they wouldn't stop there. Rappers were nice, but Big Hit actually needed a dancer.
J-Ho!
Jung Ho-seok always loved dancing. He was in the...
This is so interesting because this is like really talking about the formation of them and like the logic behind it, like seeing like RM was like the original that just got like, he's just the OG, the leader. But then Suga was brought on kind of as like producing rap line-esque type of person, but then they get J-Hope because they're like, okay, now we need a dancer. That makes so much sense.
He was in the starting lineup of the dance group Neuron in his hometown, Gwangju. He was good at it too, winning several local championships and even winning a championship at the national level in 2008. While a rapper, which at this point he had little experience with. However, J-Hope made the decision to leave Big Hit until RM convinced both J-Hope and Big Hit that the group wouldn't be complete without him. He was right.
아니 근데 형 항상 중간고에 아니면 종호석 와야 된다고 종호석 안 오면 진짜 멤버 믿고 간 거야 나도.
That's so true.
멤버 보고 왔어 진짜. 근데 나는 진짜 네가
They wouldn't make it without J-Hope.
With the addition of J-Hope,
him.
the rap line was complete. Now they needed some singers. Now, just like how RM, an amazing rapper with a ton of experience, was chosen as the first official member of the rap line, it would only make sense that a legendary singer and dancer would be the perfect first member of the vocal line. Right?
Jin.
But Kim Seok-jin didn't have any sort of experience like that. Believe it or not, one day when he was walking on the streets of his hometown, Anyang, he was approached by a representative of SM Entertainment with an offer to work for the company. In typical Jin fashion, he never followed up with them because he believed it to be a scam. Apparently, Jin was a very good-looking guy because years later, this time as a college student in Seoul, he was once again approached on the street. This time by an executive at Big Hit Entertainment.
No way.
He didn't sing, he didn't dance. He was at school to become an actor, and he decided...
This is what like really stuns me, that Jin made it onto BTS, because it seems like they literally just pulled him off the streets. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's handsome. Don't get me wrong. You know I love my Jin. But, oh, my AirPods fell out. But at the same time, it's like, there are a lot of handsome men in the world, and you pull Jin off the streets, of all people. You really just looked at him and were like, I don't know if you can sing, I don't know if you could dance, but you're in our group. Like, what?
Decided to audition to become an actor. Big Hit, however, had different plans for him and convinced him to become a vocalist for their new group. To do so, he literally learned to dance and sing starting from zero, but thankfully, not without help from other vocalists.
Jungkook.
John Jungkook initially had dreams of becoming a badminton player when he was young, but after seeing G-Dragon perform Heartbreaker on television, it influenced him to want to become a singer instead. Because of this, at only age 14, he decided to audition for the South Korean talent show, Superstar K. he didn't pass auditions. But this was just enough to catch the eye of not one company, not two companies, but 7 different companies.
Wow.
This included JYP, FNC, Woollim, Starship Entertainment, TS, Cube, and of course, Big Hit Entertainment. So why did Jungkook, given the choice of all these bigger companies, decide to go with the relatively smaller company, Big Hit?
Wow.
The answer was simple. Because he thought, and I quote, RM was cool.
He thought RM was cool?
That brings the number of members to 5. The next member of BTS was just as surprised to find Big Hit as Big Hit was to find him, and it almost didn't happen.
It almost didn't happen. V.
Kim Taeyoung was always passionate about music, and it was always his dream to pursue it as a career. However, it was hard, as his family was poor.
I find him to be adorable.
His father
like,
told
absolutely
him that
adorable.
if he was passionate about music, he should learn an instrument, and he did, spending 3 years practicing with the saxophone. One day, one of his friends decided to audition for Big Hit Entertainment when they were holding auditions in his hometown of Daegu. Taeyoung, being a good friend, came with him to keep him company. But when one of the team members in charge of the audition saw Taeyoung, he encouraged him to audition as well. With nothing to lose, he did. That day, he was the only one in Daegu to move on to the next round of auditions, and eventually became a trainee for Big Hit Entertainment name. He decided to go with V for victory.
That's what V stands
like
for?
A nice round number to stop, right? 6 members for a new hip-hop group, 3 rappers, and
now
3
we're missing
vocalists.
one.
It seems like a complete group, but still there was something missing. Someone was
Someone
missing.
was
Someone that could take
missing.
this already great group of artists and push it even further to achieve
You know who it
perfection.
is.
A powerhouse. Someone so naturally talented that they could stand out in a room full of already talented artists. This project that Big Hit had embarked upon needed a capstone. Park Jimin was a naturally talented dancer. When he was in middle school, he attended a dance academy and continued to pursue dance at Busan High School of Arts, where he studied contemporary dance and was the top student in the whole modern dance department. Impressed by his raw talent, a teacher encouraged him to audition for Big Hit Entertainment, who were holding auditions in Busan. He was only 16 when he passed the audition and moved to Seoul to become a trainee. He was the final member of the group, and he also had the shortest training period. Interesting to note is that the group feels very much ragtag because, in a sense, with the exception of Jimin and J-Hope, it was. RM auditioned for Big Hit because he didn't pass his auditions with the first company he chose. And despite their amazing talent, Suga and Jungkook didn't win the competitions they were in, but they signed on to Big Hit after the fact because of their high-quality performances. V never even planned on auditioning and just decided to do it on a whim, and they literally just found Jin on the streets.
That's what I said, on the streets.
Because this was the group that they chose. And just like that, in 2012,
They're so
the newly
talented,
created
though.
Bangtanso년dan, the Bulletproof Boy Scouts, or simply BTS, was 7.
Oh, look at how little they were.
Total material, including photos for the first time of all the members in the official lineup.
Oh, they're so adorable.
Finally, the big day came. June 12th, 2013. BTS held a press conference and a debut showcase where they performed their 2...
Who told Jimin it was okay to wear the sideways hat? That's what I need to know. Okay, we're gonna move on.
The same day, the Too Cool for School album, as well as the music video for No More Dream,
I've seen
were
that
released.
one.
The very next day, BTS performed the song again on their official debut stage on Mnet's M Countdown. This was the world's first taste of BTS. People saw the sparkle in their eyes and their limitless potential.
Look at Jimin.
And they were hot, of course. On July 9th, ARMY was established as BTS's official.
It was a good name.
They made their comeback only 2 months later in September when they released their single No, along with their EP, part 2 of what would be their school trilogy, Oh, Are You Late 2. In the music video for the single, they made a commentary on the harsh Korean education system, along with their previous themes of hopes and dreams. No peaked at 92 in Korea, but also quickly fell off the charts. The album debuted at number 4 on the Gaon Weekly chart and was the 55th best-selling album in South Korea that year. This was enough to secure them the coveted New Artist of the Year award at the Melon Music Awards, the Golden Disc Awards, and the Seoul Music Awards. Part 3 of the School Trilogy was released in February of 2014, the EP School Love Affair. This time, the lead single was Boy in Love.
Okay.
And the other single being Just One Day. The The album, as well as both singles, enjoyed moderate success, with the album topping the Gaon album chart, as well as making its first international appearance at number 3 on the Billboard World Albums chart. The album also marked their first distinctive change in theme, focusing more on school life and young love, as evidenced by their Boy in Love music video. This is, unfortunately, a dark chapter in the lives of BTS and ARMY. That's right, American Hustle Life. I'm joking, of course, but American Hustle Life was a reality show put together by Mnet that brought BTS to Los Angeles, where they had the unique opportunity to learn the true ways of hip-hop from the masters. And it was a pretty darn cringy opportunity, but an opportunity nonetheless. Whatever you do, just don't watch the Warren G version of Boy in Love. The next month, in August, BTS released their first full-length studio album, Dark and Wild. The album featured 2 singles, Danger.
I've been told I should react to Danger.
And War of Hormones. The album featured a marked shift in sound with a touch of
that
R&B
suit is working
and
for you,
electronica.
boy.
It was met with moderate success. It peaked at number 2 in Korea, selling over 200,000 albums. Although Dark and Wild got decent attention, they needed something different. They needed something that would shake things up. They got to work. April 29, 2015 was their comeback. When this album was produced, each member had a hand in writing songs for the album. They again changed their sound, from aggressive hip-hop to youthful, colorful styles. And not only their sound, but their image as well. This can be evidenced by their newest EP, The Most Beautiful Moment in Life. And just by looking at the album cover, they ditched the dark colors and the bulletproof vest symbol that had become so synonymous with BTS, and replaced it with a simple white and pink background overlaid with the title. And then, they dropped the single that would change everything.
What is it?
I Need You. It was sentimental, it was hopeful, it was new. Just by looking at the music video, we can see that BTS has also ditched their punk bad boy image and replaced it with a more real, vulnerable, down-to-earth, and youthful feel. They released their second single, Dope, on June 24th, which started off with a poignant line from RM.
어서 와. 방탄은 처음이지?
Welcome. Is this your first time with BTS? And you know what? For a lot of people,
wow.
it was.
I need to.
In
That's
a
on
way,
my list to
their
react
first
to.
studio album and tour can be seen as their stepping stone between old school BTS and new school.
Wow.
In November, they came back with their follow-up EP, The Most Beautiful Moment in Life, Part 2, the second EP in what would be dubbed the Youth Trilogy, which featured the single Run. The album focused even more on the frivolity, friendship, and carefree attitude that comes with enjoying one's youth, but just like in I Need You, contrasted that with suffering, depression, loneliness, society, and the stark and sometimes dark reality of life. Compare this with the far cry of the No More Dreams music video. It felt real.
Yeah,
it was
No More
darker,
Dreams was a little,
grittier,
or
more
No More
humble,
Dream
more meaningful,
was a
and
little
most
out there.
importantly, RM lost his mohawk.
He lost his
also
mohawk.
connected narratively with their previous single, I Need You, and another video released in September titled On Stage Prologue established what would come to be known as the BTS universe, or the BU, which would eventually combine music videos, short films, books, short stories, webtoons, and even a mobile game to create a cohesive story. And I won't go down this rabbit hole because there is a lot to digest, but it's definitely something to look into if you're a hardcore ARMY.
One day,
the same
I will
month,
look
they
into
kicked
it.
off
One
their
day.
third tour, The Most Beautiful Moment in Life on-stage tour, where they performed songs from their 2 recent EPs, Part 1 and Part 2. And Part
Look at
2
them dancing.
was a hit, their biggest so far. It topped the weekly Gaon album and Billboard World Albums charts, and on Billboard, it stayed there. This brings us to Part 3 of the Youth Trilogy, The Most Beautiful Moment in Life, Young Forever, released on May 2nd, 2016, which featured probably my favorite BTS album cover. Young
That is a
Forever was
cool
actually a
album
compilation
cover.
album of parts 1 and 2, so it was mostly the same songs, but it was notable that it had some new singles, Epilogue, Young Forever, Fire, and Sing.
Fire.
The latter two performed exceptionally well, with both songs topping the Billboard World Digital Songs chart. This was also the second BTS album to chart on the Billboard 200 at 107. BTS dropped their second studio album, Wings. It sold over 500,000 copies in its first week. In comparison, The Most Beautiful Moment in Life Part 1, released just the previous year, which topped the Gaon chart, sold about 500,000 in its entire lifetime.
So they
Wings
gained a
was
lot of
big,
popularity
but the true
between them.
showstopper was its lead single, Blood, Sweat, and Tears,
That was an interesting music video.
which got them their first all-kill, topping 8 music charts in South Korea. Its music video gained 6 million views in the first 24 hours, which broke the YouTube record for the highest number of views of a K-pop group music.
That music video had my brain hurting. It still I can't think about it too much because my brain will still hurt.
They ended up selling 1.5 million copies in South Korea in 2016 alone, and it netted them the Artist of the Year award at the Eminent Asian Music Awards that same year. After Blood, Sweat, and Tears, they were on a roll. BTS was unstoppable. In February of 2017, they released the instant hit Spring Day, which, quoting a Korean
I haven't
reviewer,
seen that one yet.
embodied nostalgia and sorrow and opened a new chapter in BTS's aesthetics and lyricism, and attracted fans across generational boundaries. Which, by the way, is still on Korean charts after nearly 4 years. And the same day I'm writing this, it ranked number 53 on Melon series, starting with Love Yourself, Her in September of 2017, Love Yourself, Tear in May of 2018, and Love Yourself, Answer in August of 2018. 3 albums that gave us some of the most classic BTS songs that we know and love today,
so cute.
such as Mic Drop, Fake Love, Euphoria, Idol,
Artist. Idol.
and of course, all 3 albums were commercial successes, Her being their first album to top 2 million album sales. But Tear and Answer also did equally well. These 3 albums, as well as their Japanese album, Face Yourself, proved that they weren't done yet, not even close. And to top it all off, in October, the president of South Korea awarded every member of BTS the 5th class Hwangwon Order of Cultural Merit for outstanding meritorious services in the field of culture and art, which is one of the highest South Korean orders of merit one can receive. And that's no exaggeration. 2019 estimates put BTS's contribution to the South Korean economy to the tune of $4.65 billion each year, an equivalent to 0.3% of the country's GDP. They were the youngest to ever receive the honor. 2019, BTS invited to the Grammys, Time Magazine, Billboard. BTS entered a new era. Not an era of simply global recognition, but global dominance. April 12, 2019, enter Map of the Soul, Persona. First things first, you can't mention Map of the Soul Persona without mentioning Boy With Love. It was simple math. What do you get when you cross the singer of one of the best charting songs of all time that went platinum 59 times in 13 different countries with, without a question, the most globally dominant pop group of all time? Well, you get this. Nothing less than an instant hit. Number 8 on Billboard Hot 100,
That is a
platinum in the US,
catchy
21
song.
music show wins, number 1 on iTunes in 67 different countries, the most liked and the most viewed YouTube video in the first 24 hours, the fastest video to reach 100 million views, a current view count of over 1 billion views, 7 boys, 1 girl, and 7 different hair colors. They were the talk of the town, invited to talk show after talk show after talk show. The second single on the album was Make It Right.
I can make it right.
Written by Ed Sheeran himself, including a version featuring Lauv. The album debuted at number 1 on Gaon and sold 3.2 million copies its first month, and that's only in Korea music. So, how could BTS follow up the best-selling album in South Korean history, you may ask? Easy. Make an even better-selling album. And that's what they did with Map of the Soul 7. The album was released on February 21st of 2020, featuring the singles Black Swan and On. And sold over 4.1 million albums in just the first week, and the first Korean album to be certified as quadruple million on the Gaon music chart. At this point, it was clear that BTS had already dominated their home turf, and they had topped the music charts all over the world. This time, their sight was set for the very top. Remember that scene in The Social Network where Mark and Sean talk about how they don't want $1 million, they want $1 billion, how they're not interested in catching 14 trout, but they'd rather catch an 800-pound marlin? Well, that's what they set their sights on. The marlin, the biggest music industry in the world, the United States. And at the top of that music industry, number 1 on Billboard Hot 100. This small group from a company that virtually no one had heard about 8 years ago planned to take on Goliath himself and dominate the American industry on their home turf. And all they had to do was speak English. August 21st, enter Dynamite. Their first English single simultaneously performed better than anyone had expected, but at the same time is exactly what we as an audience had come to expect from the legendary boy band themselves.
Yeah,
and
that is a good
They
single.
reached #1 on the US Billboard Hot 100, the Global 200, and the Global Excluding US chart, and they made sure that if you hadn't heard of them before, you definitely have now. And if that wasn't already the biggest flex, on October 2nd, they came out with Savage Love BTS Remix with Jason Derulo,
Savage love, need somebody break your heart.
getting #1 on the Billboard Hot
Really?
100 again, less than 2 months after already getting it #1 with Dynamite. On November 20th, their 5th studio album, B, was released, featuring the hit single Life Goes On. B was met with critical acclaim and hit #1 on Billboard 200 and the World Albums Chart, the 5th BTS album to do so, along with topping worldwide charts in countries like Belgium, Canada, Japan, New Zealand, Norway, Poland, Portugal, and of course, their hometown, South Korea.
But Bad Bunny and Tiny, Intentions by Justin Bieber and Quavo, Dynamite by BTS, Rain On Me.
The same month, the Academy announced that BTS's Dynamite would be nominated for the Best Pop Duo Group Performance, along with songs by J Balvin, Justin Bieber, Lady Gaga, and Taylor Swift. This marked the first time a Korean pop artist was nominated for a Grammy. In December,
The first time. That's insane.
BTS and the world watched. And, well,
And the Grammy goes to Rain on Me, Lady Gaga, Ariana Grande.
they didn't win. However, they made history for being the first South Korean artist to perform at the Grammys, after presenting at the Grammys the year prior. March 31st, 2021, Big Hit Entertainment officially rebrands as HYBE and completely revamps their organization. BTS now falls under Big Hit Music. Then, at long last, BTS announced their highly anticipated follow-up single to their smash English hit, Dynamite. And that single was Butter. May 21st, 2021. It didn't disappoint. The retro summer pop hit met immediate success, and on May 26th, the BTS meal launched.
I had no idea.
Yeah, that happened. June 16th, BTS releases their 3rd Japanese compilation album.
Very impressive.
On July 1st, following an organizational restructuring, the HYBE Corporation announced that Hitman Bang, our same Hitman Bang who got the boys together, resigned as CEO of the company in order to focus on his passion for music production. And while he is still the chairman of the board of directors, he was replaced as CEO by Park Ji-won. On July 7th, BTS became official models for Louis Vuitton as they walked the runway for part of their men's fall-winter 2021 collection. They were named as ambassadors only 2 months prior, and then for their teaser trailer, they forgot to put V in the video. And finally, that brings us to July 9, Permission to Dance, which was released only a few days ago. The hit song, which was written by Ed Sheeran, spreads positive vibes as the world starts to recover from the global pandemic. Out of BTS's past 5 singles, 3 of them have been fully in English. And while this trend has been concerning for some fans who have been wanting more traditional Korean pop songs, there's no denying that BTS has enjoyed global recognition like no other international and particularly non-English group before them, and that itself is a sign of success that can't be ignored. And as a fun fact, there's a line in the song referencing legendary singer-songwriter Elton John.
They broke Elton John's record, didn't they?
He gave the song his personal approval.
Aww.
So what makes BTS so special? How did they achieve all this? K-pop is a genre that spans for at least 30 years, and there have been hundreds of boy groups and hundreds of girl groups. What did BTS do to rise above all of them and break through to markets never before seen? BTS is continuously pushing the envelope and changing their styles. According to an article by Vulture.com, they describe this style as much less a successor of the Backstreet Boys and more of the successors of Michael Jackson, whose choreography and charisma were unprecedented. While of course there's a lot of love for the angelic vocals of BTS, rap has also played a very important part in creating their own style. In stark contrast to the typical boy band where every member sings, it's so refreshing when you're in the middle of a song and you hear art.
That is so true. It is so refreshing to not just hear singing all the time from them. Like, I love their singing and I love their like vocal line or whatever you call it. But I really appreciate the rap line because I feel like without them, they would not be who they are. You know what I mean?
Rem's raw rapping skills, J-Hope's energy, or Suga's soul put into every single line.
Yes.
Interestingly enough, at the first glance, it seems that the success of BTS was miraculous, despite not being part of the Big Three. But it can also be argued that their success was because of their separation from the Big Three. Their label, Big Hit Entertainment, whose founder emphasizes artistic freedom more than anything else. They also chose to tackle more adult issues instead of simply love and girls. While they definitely didn't have a shortage of those, they also cover other very important issues such as mental health, regret, following your dreams, hard work, self-love, and many, many, many others. Add that to the fact that as fans, we can feel the authenticity of the members themselves. They seem approachable. BTS seems like there's a place for every type of fan. And in this fast-paced world where things change at unthinkable speeds, BTS has stayed grounded and faithful to who they were and who they are. Those kids we saw on American Hustle Life, along with their dreams and passions, are the same men who stand before us today. And while some artists like to keep their personal lives private, BTS gives us a look at their personal lives through their vlogs, which allow us to become more connected to them than ever before. Think that needs improving? Leave a comment below. A big shout out to our almost 160,000 subscribers.
That was so nice. That was very, very helpful. Thank you guys for recommending me that one. That was very helpful. I feel like I did know like quite a bit of that just from like what I've already watched, but like it was nice to see them come together. It was nice to see like all their accolades and like the things they've won. Like it was definitely a good reaction, and I would definitely recommend this video probably over some of the other ones I've watched. Even like the other ones brought something different, and this one was like the original. Like I would say if I could go back, maybe this would be the first one that I would have watched, and then maybe the other ones. But overall, that was so good. Thank you guys for recommending me that. But without further ado, I'm going to let you guys go, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.